What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're looking to get your music reviewed, you can hit up this email that's right here. But today I'm going to hit you up with my thoughts and opinions on this album from B Stone called Gold Country. B Stone is a rapper from California, and if you want to find out more about him, you can just take a look at the information box I got for you underneath this video. But first things first, we are going to start off with the positive before I get into some of the things that I didn't care for, starting with the song SYRIA. I really appreciate this track as it's one of perspective where he's just comparing his own issues to the death and destruction going on in Syria. So what he's doing here is realizing that some of the shit he's worried about is nothing compared to what some of those people are going through. I think it's very interesting to think in that sort of way because sometimes we have these first world problems that really aren't as bad as what a lot of people are going through. So I do appreciate how he's bringing these ideas here, even though he has dealt with some pretty serious things. You'll hear all about it throughout this project, including on this song where he touches on addiction and battles with suicidal thoughts. So as far as the beat goes on this, I did think it was kind of dry, but I'd still put it as a favorite song due to that content. And my other favorite would be Throttle Therapy. This one is quite different from Syria as it doesn't really have that depth, but this is just a very smooth track where he's just riding solo, enjoying his car, and just thinking. Certainly has that vibe to it with the guitar and light piano keys, so in some ways it kind of gave me some Houston vibes, you know what I mean? Some of that smooth shit to just ride out with and get in your feelings and thoughts. So I really like that track. It's quite a bit different from Syria, and between these two tracks you do see that he's able to do some different sounds. And while much of the production on here is a little bit simplistic and generic, as I alluded to on the song Syria, there are some pretty interesting moments. You have one song on here that sounds like Rhythm is a Dancer by Snap, just has this 90s club feel to it. The song is called In the Sky. And then with the song High, we're getting this heavy bass and some woodwinds that sound like some club track from the early 2000s. Now, I did think his flow on this song was a bit all over the place, and the hook really didn't do it any justice. It just kind of seems like he's got an off-kilter flow throughout much of these tracks. At times, he has a little bit of a spoken word style, as heard on the intro track, where he's just trying to stay grounded and is questioning his existence. So I think his style and flow is something that people will be very split on. It is a bit different, so in one way you can say it's cool how he's trying something a bit different with how he flows, but at the same time, it really does seem like it's a bit off-beat in spots, just a very different style he's working. So in spite of that, you are still going to get tons of great content on this album, whether trying to stay balanced on expectations. This is something we all deal with because we have expectations we put on ourselves, but sometimes we got to chill. Then on the song Jump Off a Cliff, he's actually questioning God and humanity, another very thoughtful and introspective track. And Long Road really gets into his life story. As I alluded to earlier in this review, he's been through a lot of things. He was raised in a cult. He had battles with cystic fibrosis, as well as addiction, suicidal thoughts, all kinds of things. So he is good at putting his story out there and telling it. But sonically, there are some things here that come across as a little bit sloppy and amateurish. I mentioned how the production could certainly be better, as well as his flow in spots. And his singing on this is like very hit and miss. I can hear the potential with what he's trying to do on some tracks, but at other times it seems like he's really forcing it and straining his voice. You'll notice this on the two songs Old Girl and New Girl, where he's obviously touching on an old girl he dealt with and a new girl he's dealing with, but the singing here is just really bad, and there are some other spots throughout this album where those vocals aren't up to snuff. So all that said, I'm going to go with a 2.5 out of 5 here, because I do hear the potential in what he's trying to do, and I think he does have some great content and storytelling ability. I just think having some better beats, vocals, and maybe tightening those flows up a bit would go a long way into making his music better. But hey man, that's just my opinion, and that's what you get when you watch my review, so check it out for yourself, and let me know in the comments section what you guys think. Of course, you also want to hit me up on all my social media sites so you can show me love and show me lots of it. Thank you for watching, everybody. Hope you guys aren't melting these days like I am. It is hot as hell out here in Nova Scotia. Keep it cool, keep it crispy, and I will see you next time.